So, you've got the dream, right? Running your own pub, being the heart of the local community, pulling that perfect pint. It is the classic British dream. But let's be real. In 2025, that dream comes with a very, very serious reality check. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what it actually takes to be a pub landlord.
See, on the one hand, you've got all the romance. The pub is the absolute glue of British society. But then the cold, hard numbers tell a completely different story. And the brutal truth is, one pub is closing its doors for good every single day. That is the tightrope you're walking if you want to get into this business.
And this is not a small blip. We are now down to just 39,000 pubs in the entire UK. Just let that sink in for a second. That's a 35% drop since the turn of the century. So for anyone wanting to jump in now, the stakes, they have never been higher.
Okay, so if you're not scared off yet, your whole journey starts with one absolutely fundamental choice. And trust me on this, the path you pick right at the very beginning is going to define pretty much everything that comes after.
Think of it like a high-stakes choose-your-own-adventure book from when you were a kid. There are basically three main ways you can get yourself behind that bar. And each one, it's got a totally different set of rules, costs, and, risks.
Let's break down the big three, shall we? First up, you've got the pub co-tenancy. This is the cheapest way and no doubt. But, and it's a big but, you're tied to buying their beer, often at inflated prices, which just crushes your profit. Or you could go for a free of tie lease. Here you've got more freedom, much better margins, but you're going to need a much bigger chunk of cash up front. And then there's the freehold, the whole shebang. You own it all, which sounds amazing, but it means you're on the hook for millions, and every single risk is 100% yours.
All right, you've picked a path. Now for the next gauntlet, the money. This is the part where that cozy dream meets a cold, hard spreadsheet. And believe me, it can be a brutal collision. We're going to talk costs, we're going to talk contracts, and we're going to talk about the big, powerful pub companies, the pubcos.
You know, here's the thing. Most pubs don't fail because the landlord pours a bad pint. They fail because the math, the simple math, just doesn't add up. So let's do the math.
Let's start with the big one, rent. In a decent location, you could easily be looking at £80,000 a year. That's almost $7,000 a month before you've sold a single bag of crisps.
Then you got to keep the lights on and the cellar cool. Energy costs have just exploded. We're talking potentially up 200% from just a few years ago. It is a massive, unpredictable expense that can absolutely wipe you out.
And on top of all that, your team, your staff. A typical pub's staffing bill can easily hit £100,000 a year, and when you're staring at an empty bar on a rainy Tuesday night, that's the number that'll keep you awake.
So, after all that, what does it mean for your pocket? Well, when you add up the taxman's share and all those other costs, the reality is just staggering. For every £3 a customer spends your bar, you, the landlord, are left with just one. The profit margins are absolutely, terrifyingly razor thin.
Now, a huge factor in your costs is the pub company, or pubco. And the best way to think of them, imagine they're your overbearing in-laws. They give you the keys to the house, sure, but you've got to live by their rules, especially when it comes to that beer tie.
But here is the crucial thing. Not all pubcos are created equal. Not even close. Just look at these 2025 landlord satisfaction scores. You got Admiral and Green King way up there with happy tenants, and then you have Stonegate, all the way down at a shocking 43%. I mean, who would you rather be in business with?
And that data, it has a real human cost. This is a direct quote from a Stonegate landlord on Reddit. It's a stark, powerful warning of how picking the wrong partner can turn your dream into an absolute living nightmare. And honestly, this table just sums up their reputations perfectly, doesn't it? You've got Admiral as the helpful mate, all the way down to Stonegate as the ex you shouldn't text back. The message could not be any clearer. Do your homework before you even think about signing anything.
Okay, that was a lot of bad news, I know. But it's not hopeless. Far from it. Now we get to the good part. How you can actually fight back, get smart, and succeed. This is the playbook for the modern landlord.
This slide right here is pure gold. When you're sitting at that negotiating table, you have to fight for yourself. The pubcos actually expect it. So you ask for a rent-free period to do repairs. You demand a 2-year break clause. That's your escape hatch. And most importantly, you get everything in writing. A verbal promise? It's just air. It means absolutely nothing.
Next, you have to think beyond beer. Just relying on pint sales these days is a recipe for disaster. The real profit today, it's somewhere else. Food has much higher margins. Events like pub quizzes are booming. And the whole no and low alcohol market has doubled since 2020. People's habits are changing. This is where the smart money is now.
And you have to sell these new ideas properly. Just posting quiz night tonight on Facebook is just noise. Nobody cares. But who's the cleverest team in town? Prove it Tuesday? That's a challenge. That creates a buzz, it gets people tagging their mates, and it's what fills your tables. You've got to market smarter, not just louder.
So all of this, the brutal costs, the need to diversify where your money comes from, it's forcing an evolution. The Great British Pub isn't dying, it's being forced to reinvent itself. Let's take a look at what that future really looks like.
A huge driver of this change is the simple price of a pint. Today, it's already over £5. By 2030, forecasts say it's going to hit £8. I mean, ask yourself, would you pay £8 for a casual pint? As beer becomes more of a luxury, pubs have to offer an experience that feels like it's actually worth it.
And this is the hopeful vision for the future. The pub that survives and actually thrives isn't just a pub anymore. It's a flexible, dynamic community space. It's a cafe and a remote workspace during the day, and then it transforms into an entertainment venue at night.
So let's wrap this all up. The dream is still possible, but only, and I mean only, if you go in with your eyes wide open. That means knowing the risks of your entry route inside and out. It means being brutally honest with yourself about the numbers. It means fighting for a fair contract, thinking beyond just beer to find your profit, and marketing yourself cleverly to build a true community.
Which, brings us right back to the beginning. The challenges are immense. There is no question about that. But the opportunity is to reinvent a cornerstone of British culture for a whole new generation. The future pub is a vital community hub. So the only real question left is that a legacy you're ready to build?